any Democrat or Republican legislators who don't want more jobs in California, who don't think we need to fix our education system. So that's what I want to do, and it's about leadership, it's about focus, it's about relationships, it's about working together to solve the problems. And everywhere I go on the campaign trail, John, people are saying, solve the problem. Stop kicking it back to us. Stop putting everything that moves on a ballot initiative. Solve the problem. And that's what I'm going to try to do.
Ms. Whitman, Governor
We'll go to you
Schwarzenegger,
next, and then we'll go to you, Jack.
many of the things you're saying are similar to what Governor Schwarzenegger has said in terms of welfare, prisons, cutting prison shipping, prisoners out of state, jobs, spending. You have, in fact, the same campaign opportunity that you had when you were selected. Some of the consultants and Steve Wilson supporting you. So, I mean, why would you be able to do some of these things when he has, it's been intransigent for him?
I'd say a couple things. One is I have a very different background than Governor Schwarzenegger, who, by the way, I have a lot of respect for. He stood up and served and was counted. But I've run very large organizations. eBay was 15,000 people, nearly $8 billion in revenue. And if you've never run a large organization, I think it's very hard to be dropped down into an organization the size of the state of California and execute well. So I'd say the first thing is focus. The second thing is the appointments process. You probably heard me talk in the question and answer tonight. 3,000 appointments, the top 300 of which are essential. I did not run eBay by myself. I'm not going to govern California by myself. If those appointments and all the gubernatorial appointments to the boards and commissions are not exactly right on your agenda, you don't get anything done. And then you have got to be willing to be, in many ways, unpopular. In a turnaround, it is, never easy. And so I will commit to, making the tough choices and living with the consequences of those choices, because if I am elected, it will be what I was sent to Sacramento to do.
So you don't think the people around him were
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think the intentions were very good, but the truth is, the results are not good. And I think that I have a different approach, a different set of skills, a different set of background that will actually allow me to be far more successful in leading this state and leading the legislature to a place where we will have higher creation of jobs, lower unemployment. We will, in fact, cut government spending because we have to. And we will fix this education system. Since when is it okay to have the vast majority of kids not get a chance at the California dream because they can't graduate from high school with basic math and reading and science skills?
Time for a couple more games.
Do you have any ambitions to national office, perhaps, with Mitt Romney running mate?
Yeah, I was going to say.
2012, 2016.
How about we win the Republican primary and then we win the governorship?
Is there a plan? You win the governor, then?
No. I have had a great career. I love this state. I want to try to be part of the team that helps, fix California. I want to lead California to be in a much better place. And if I do that, I would be thrilled to death.
Quickly, Poizner said $20 billion. He had a plan of how he would shave that off in the California budget. He said $15 billion. Can you go into more specifics?
Yeah, I mean, it's in 4 different buckets. First is the number of people who work for the state. Second is welfare reform. Third is pension reform. And fourth is doing things more efficiently. What we do in business every day, utilizing technology to do more with less, fighting fraud. There's fraud throughout our Medicare and Medi-Cal system, our IHSS system. Many of our health and welfare benefits are not automated, so we can't deliver them effectively and efficiently. Let's give someone else a chance.
Yeah,
Run at you.
A succinct way that you're going to get all of these cats.
All of these cats.
Herding cats.
Oh, I see.
How are you going to herd these cats to do what you'd like them to do?
Yeah. It's about leadership. It's about leadership. It's about creating a vision for a better California and about focusing on doing a small number of things, having the right people working for you, and using that veto pen to make sure that we don't get a whole bunch of bills and have a whole bunch of spending.
Would you respond to concerns that you're essentially buying this election so much while you're spending?
So I don't think you can buy elections. What I can do, which is what I've tried to do, is to get my message out. I've done 300 different campaign events around the state, obviously been on radio and TV. I'm very proud of the website we have. And so we get the message out. And in the end, voters are really smart. They figure out who they want to lead this state. They figure out your strengths and your weaknesses and the challenges that we face right now. And my view is this election is going to turn on the economy. It's going to turn on jobs. And if I win the Republican nomination and I go up against Jerry Brown, this will be a very stark contrast. A 40-year career politician versus someone who has created jobs, met a payroll, understands the impact of being smothered by regulation, who really deeply understands the needs of small business. No one in this race knows more about the economy than I do. And so that's what I need to make sure that people in California understand.
If you spend as much money as you say, if you spend as much money as you say you're going to spend, you smother him with money.
You know what? I can get my message out, and then I think voters are really, really smart. So let's see. Should we do?
Are you going to
You want to do one more?
Let's do like two more, maybe, and then we've got to go.
Mitt Romney's positions evolve a lot of things.
Yeah, and I want to give. You know what? I want to actually give someone else. Well, you get a question, but then I got to do two more after that
I'll make it
because
real
I want to
short.
make sure that the next
Why
one.
is it okay for Mitt Romney to have evolved his positions on so many things that hurt him in the presidential campaign, but it's not okay for Steve Poison?
So the truth is, Mitt changed his position on only one issue, and that was abortion.
Gay rights?
No, he didn't really, actually, if you look closely at his record. And what Steve has done is he has changed his position on virtually every issue since he ran for the Assembly in 2004. When he ran for the Assembly, he ran in a largely Democrat district. And he was a liberal Republican. And what you see on whether it was cutting taxes, you know, he campaigned against the Bush tax cuts. He funded $200,000 of his own money for a proposition that weakened Prop 13. He, was got a 100% rating from Planned Parenthood, which means that you have to be for partial birth abortion. It means you have to be for publicly funded abortion, and he's changed all those positions. So whether it's spending or taxes or his contribution to Al Gore or oil drilling, was against oil drilling, now he's for oil drilling. I mean, so I think it goes to trust on a whole host of
Well, why did
issues.
you vote for him then?
Because he was the Republican, and it was him or Ira Rushkin. So my view was Steve, and Steve hadn't changed his positions back then. You know, he seemed like the right guy at the right time. So we'll do two more people who haven't had a chance to ask a question. Yes.
How are you going to take on the public employee unions? And what are you going to do if they pass this tremendously expensive sort of socialized healthcare plan here in California that some would say would cost $200 billion?
Well, we cannot let that happen. That will bankrupt the state. And I think people really do understand that the president's healthcare position has not been very popular. So, we cannot let that happen. I mean, that is unsustainable and not affordable and the wrong thing for California. With regard to the public service employee unions, my view is their power is outsized to where it should be. And so, I am in favor of what was called paycheck protection, that is now the Citizens Power Initiative. And we have to negotiate with these unions. You might have heard me say tonight, about 85% of the civil service unions are working without a contract. I'd be negotiating right now because it's not a time when most people I know are worried about their job and they're worried that they certainly don't think they're going to get a raise. So I would be negotiating really hard. And you've got to stand up and be counted and do things that are going to be tough to accomplish, but we have to do it.
You're donating to paycheck protection?
I'm not donating to paycheck protection. I'm supporting it. There's so many initiatives. Let's see what gets on the ballot, and then we'll make a decision about what, if any, of them are the right things to support.
Do you support open primary?
Not as currently configured. I think there's merit to open primary, but the way this one is constructed is it's the top two vote getters. So you could end up with 2 Republicans, 2 Democrats. I'm a big believer actually in the two-party system. So I like the notion of what is trying to be accomplished, but this particular incarnation I don't love.
The grand
Can
finale.
you just comment on
Okay.
the wiki?
Okay, can we get Carla on the last question?
Comment on the WikiMeg site, the union that keeps putting up.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on it? It is a technological innovation.
Yeah, and listen, I appreciate the creativity that went into that site, but I actually liked the response that my intern had, which is, I think there's lots of chances for mischief on this site. Her professor wouldn't let her use Wiki to write reports, and of course it's funded by the Democrats and the unions. All right, you guys, we're gonna run. I gotta go home. We gotta pick up my husband. I will.
Doing this every week or so.
Every day with you all. Yeah, no, we'll be doing a lot more of it. All right, thanks so much. Take care. Bye bye.
Thank you so